Hello, Internet. You are back with Professor X and Y, and we're going to teach you how to Python. Take it away.
You're on integers.
Alright, today we are going to be defining variables. Sick.
What's the name of the variable?
The first variable that we are going to be defining today is a string. It is going to be called string. Do you want to just go ahead and get rid of that from last episode? If you want to enjoy that, you're going to have to watch the episode. I'm afraid we won't be showcasing that here.
You should have seen it, right?
Fantastic. Yeah, you did.
Right, so string. Nice.
If you didn't subscribe then, make sure you're going to subscribe this episode, of course.
I got to explain it, yeah?
String equals str. This is what is used to define a string. Basically, you just got to stick string in there, and then you've got to and then you've got to put some brackets, right? Now here, my colleague has made a mistake, because
A mistake made on purpose.
the 0 within the brackets is not a string. String is text, not numbers. Numbers will be covered at a later part in this video. So string, it must be surrounded with brackets and with those speech markings. Now, let me take us through this. Now, the first string that appears in black, that is the name of the variable. This can be whatever you want. For the purpose of this video and for the purpose of simplicity, we have called it string. Now, the equals, that is the
Which makes
symbol.
this video illiterate compatible.
The equals is that symbol, the symbol that we use to tell Python that we're going to be defining a variable. Now, str, that is in purple, is telling Python that the variable that we are assigning is in fact a string. And then the brackets is syntax, which is necessary so that it knows what part of the code is this variable. In this case, it is nothing. So we've just used 2 semicolons and then blank space in between so that it is nothing.
It's a good song by Taylor Swift, by the way.
If you wanted to, you could you could change that up. You could make it string in here. And then that would mean that the variable string is text and it's string. So if you were to put print string, it would print string.
Hopefully. Let's give it a go,
Let's,
guys.
why not? Let's go crazy.
Have you been watching our
Yeah,
previous
you would know how to
videos?
print things.
Our inaugural one. Should I say first, because some of you might be illiterate. No, you didn't explain to us.
See, and in the previous video that you may have watched, hopefully, so that you'd understand it, you would be thinking, but Professor X and Y, this is incorrect. You need speech marks surrounding it, but we do not, because this is a variable, not text. In fact, it was a bad idea to make the variable and the text the same thing. Why don't we go ahead and change that here, Professor X?
Okay, let's have a look.
We will
Let's
make
this
string.
all caps.
That will be all caps. Very good. And now, when we print string,
It's not that we're angry or anything.
it is going to print the variable string, which
Let's
is
have a look.
capitalized
Now, let's
string.
go with that cheeky trick
A little
Professor X showed you last time.
F5.
You press F5 and... Oh, hang on.
You must save
Now,
it.
you gotta be,
This is an
now,
important
like I said
part.
last time, you don't need to be okay with it. You just
No,
gotta
you
go
just
with it.
go with it. Just allow it.
Man, save this video.
Oh, listen, that's fine, man.
Alright, well.
This is string in capitals, you will notice, despite the fact up in the print bit we have written in lowercase.
In case some of you have attention disorder, I'll like to now.
Well,
This is a very disability compatible video,
Yes, it is.
as you can see.
alright, well, shall we continue with this video, and now we can breeze along at a much swifter pace, because we've already explained to you how to set up a variable.
Okay, well, Professor
Now,
X,
Professor X is going to take the mic, and he is, not literally, that's fine, you can type, I will hold the mic. He is going to take the stage, or spotlight, shall we say, and teach you about integers.
Alright, well, first we've got to come up with a name for the integer. Now, we've gone with integer. Just because. Then, we've used the famous old equal sign that we've used before to tell the computer that we're actually going to make it something. Alright, now we're going to go with int, and like before, it's a 3-letter abbreviation, shall we say. Apologies, that was Mr. Awad coming in on our video. Anyway, where were we? So it's a 3-letter abbreviation of integer, like STR, or stir, was a string. I don't mean stir as in like when you're cooking, I mean stir as in STR, for the illiterates out there. And like before, we open brackets, and we've got to put something in the middle, don't we? So, like before, we had...
A placeholder, you may call it.
Oh, very good. We had 2 speech marks to signify nothing. For numbers, if you know from mathematics, hopefully that's what you've been studying, a 0 is nothing.
Very good.
If you didn't know that, well, why are you watching these videos?
Now we could of course print this, but since we've already done so, it's really not necessary.
Yeah, well, we can handle it, you know.
Go crazy. We'll spoil the viewers today.
Live life to the fullest, guys.
Integer.
Now, if you've noticed, numbers and letters aren't the same thing, so we don't need to change 0. So we have the name of the variable. Now we're going to go ahead and use the cheeky little trick we've been showing you, F5. And as we said before, it mustn't be okay. Just go with it. Print a 0 to that. Hang on a second. Some of you may not have noticed that because you're busy in Wonderland. It's a 0 right there.
Right there.
It's exactly what the program's supposed to be doing.
Now?
So that is integers for you. Now Professor Y will take you away with whatever he's supposed to be doing.
I'm going to take you away with floats now.
Ah, yes.
Really?
It's slightly more complicated, everyone. But
Fairly simple. It's pretty similar to integers, really. So we'll go ahead and call it float for the reasons of simplicity.
Hang on a second.
There may be a problem here. Now, hang on a second.
No, this
is where Python gets complicated, ladies and gentlemen.
See, Python decided to screw everyone over.
Because I will continue the code for you so that you can understand, right? Alright, so this is what we would have, and as you may see, they've decided float is a short enough word that they don't need to shorten it like they did with integer and string. And so, we have a problem now, because float, it assumes, much like if we had named it int, it assumes that that is in fact telling the computer that what we're about to type is an int, or in this case a float. And so that cannot be the name of the variable.
Sadly enough.
We can fix this problem by using another word. Perhaps this may even help us with the clarity. Alright, decimal. Because a decimal
Very good.
is what a float is, which is why I put 0.0, because if you use an integer as a decimal, I'm not sure what will happen actually, but not what you want. However, if you use float, then exactly what you want.
Round it up, Professor Y.
Yeah, it may round it up. It may just allow it because Python's quite advanced now. But the reason of this video, we'll put 4.7. Sounds like quite a standard kind of number.
4.2, because 42 is
Yeah, we can put 4.2. Why not?
42 is the meaning of life, guys.
It is. And
See
then
how
what
we
we'll
got
do,
some philosophy in there as well.
much like beforehand, we'll go ahead. We'll print the decimal, and then if we just hit cheeky old F5, we'll save that. It will print 4.2, and that.
We got to show them where it is. All right. For those of you who are still in Wonderland,
There it
there
is.
it is.
Right there.
In the midst of all the, well, it's not really any chaos, so it should be alright.
Alright, and now
Alright.
the final one in this mere 9-minute YouTube tutorial in which we've covered but 4 very simple features of Python. We're going to top this up. Perhaps we'll get it done in under 10 minutes.
Alright.
The final one will be covered
We
by
got a
Professor
cap of
X.
15 minutes. Alright, everyone.
Take it away.
This is the final variable that we're going to be discussing today. And I know you're all probably very sad because, you know, you've been loving the video and all. Don't worry, we'll be following up with some other videos. This
one
one's
takes so long to
called
save now.
a boolean. Now it's named after some geezer, right? Who is, I'm guessing, some engineer who, you know, decided that
Bit of
some
history.
things were true, some things were false.
Listen, man, you got 25 seconds if we're going to make the deadline we set ourselves. Just
So-
smash it down, man. Go, man, go. Type. Mate, stop panicking. Alright, booleans are used to decide if something is true or false. There are only 2 states that can have These are true or false. Is what we're going to assign them as. We are done, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you later.